Last year, on November 18th, I received a message from Wilhelm that said, "You could have changed your life and world by now." And I didn't believe that was true. You might not have believed it was true about your life either. But now I know that it is true. Because that's why we're here. We're each here to change our lives, because that means we take another step in accepting ourselves or a higher state of consciousness that exists within each of us. And the more of us who do that, then we end up changing our world, which is also the reason that we were born. And there's something within you that was meant to come out into the world now to help change everything. Nothing's happening accidentally. We discover that as we live in different ways. And I hid from myself. You might have done that. And you might have thought things were really falling apart in your life. That was never true either. And I can say that because I'm 75, I've been through everything, and I do understand now. But I didn't understand before. I didn't understand the workings of our minds and our consciousness and how that shapes who we are and how that shapes the world. Because that is what we discover over time whenever we happen to live. But sometimes we resist. And I resisted and I hid from myself and I doubted every aspect of me. And you might have done that as well. But this would be the time that that could change. And it could possibly happen today on November 18th. You see, because there's energetic shifts that are happening, occurring within you and in our world. And today is the day that you can shift that. See, the message that came through today was you can still change your life and world. And you might be more inclined to do so today. And you may be feeling that. Energetically, you may be feeling that, and we will probably witness that in our world, which will again inform you as to why you want to change and become who you're meant to be in this world. Now, we can't know what that is when we're born, as we live our lives, but there is a reason and there's an organization. And then, as you look at the messages, you will see that it goes back to 2008. And when I look back at my life in 2008, it was kind of the same thing. You see, we can repeat cycles because then I was moving through this time where I was losing a business, but I was trying to hold on to it because I thought that's where I should have been. Except it wasn't. But I was resisting where I could have gone. I didn't understand that at the time because we can do that. We can resist. We can receive the urges, the guidance to go in a new direction and still resist it because we're afraid. But that's a part of our process. That's a part of our ascension process. That's a part of self-actualization. And that's what every single human would move through. But to hear the line that you could change the world, people said, that doesn't even make sense. Except it was proven that was true. That's what I kept denying it. Wilhelm said years ago, accepting this message could change your life and the world. I said, no, that's not possible. And then it started to be shown to me. Well, I've been through everything and I have the information because Wilhelm gave it to me and now I'm healed, and so why wouldn't that change the world? It was only my fear, only my doubt, and it could be the same for you. So I had to wait for a year, and then I had to use different elements to find confirmation. That's what we do. We want to know that what we're doing is confirmed, or we're not going to be embarrassed or something like that. Well, I have the confirmation now. We have artificial intelligence, and it went through the work that Wilhelm had given us, and even though I'm seeing all the results and I'm healed and I'm understand, I said it couldn't work for everyone. They said yes, it could. And now I know that it can work for any single person. I began to notice that when I started doing live channeling, because I didn't do that before 2021, I wasn't going to do that. But then I noticed that I was answering everyone's question, and they were like getting results and telling me later because I didn't remember it. But then I did self-sabotage. We can do that too, because then we have this consciousness that it's like too good to be true. I was doing that. Because how did these people change so quickly? How did all of that occur? And then I started to understand, oh, well, that's what's supposed to happen with each of us. Whatever we move through, if we can understand it and own it and move through a resolution in somehow, then we give that to others because that's how we all evolve. But we've had generations of being taught that we're not enough, that we're not capable, and it's not us who could do those huge things. And then we have to question, why is that? Why do we believe that? And it's just our consciousness. And there's a process that we each move through to raise that consciousness to understand who we are. And I lived it all and wrote it down and then didn't even know I had done it. You might do that as well, because the thing that you're building had to be hidden for a while, had to be put away so it could mature so that you could shine now. That is for each of us. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take as many people with me as I can. Because when it said today, you know, now you can still do that, well, I'm going to do that. Because I have the work that I know can guide any person to becoming who they're meant to be in this world. There's just no question anymore. I doubted and doubted. How could I have moved through every difficulty? How could I have learned or developed mind-body healing? How could I have done all of that? It was because of the information that I received. That was what it was. And as you look at the messages, you will see. It wasn't me making it up. I was receiving guidance from a universal consciousness that works for every single person. And then when you discover that you can move through your doubt, your anger, your self-judgment, your judgment of others, your intolerance of everything, and reach that higher state, and then you start to experience peace. And everyone has the ability to do that. We just have to decide if we will. And I was afraid. I've been afraid most of my life, but now there's a time where that changes. You will also discover that there's a blueprint that you have, and it's energetically aligned, and it will unfold at different times or activate, and you decide if you're going to move. And for me, that's today. And it's coming upon, I've never studied astrology, by the way, but I'm just talking about energies. We have a new moon in Scorpio coming up. I'm a double Scorpio. If you've listened to some of the sessions, you will hear Wilhelm mention that. And that is about death, transformation, and rebirth, which we're all moving through now. And I was given that plan. I didn't make it up. It was given to me. And now you can see it all. But what I'm doing now is people didn't understand this, how it works. So now you can look at it and see how it works and understand the mechanism. And I always had to put something into practical terms. I always needed to have something that was verified by science. And we do know that now. How did I change? Cognitive behavior training, understanding neuroscience, understanding generational trauma, and keep moving through it. That's what we do, each of us. And it's going to be unique to you. And as you decide to change, you will help change your life, and you'll change the world, because you'll be happy. You'll be abundant because you stop blocking it. And I've been blocking it. I've been blocking the energy of abundance coming in because I said, this couldn't have been me, but it is. And the results are here because I've done it. And now I want everyone else to do it. And so what I'm doing, people couldn't understand what this work was. Now you'll see it. Or they thought, well, maybe it's too expensive. It's never that. It's just that we're afraid. But I also did something else to prove it to you, because I said, here, I'm going to open up slots for people who you can afford it. Anyone can afford it. Even if you had to finance it for this amount, you could still do it. And so the only thing that happens, we become afraid of ourselves. That's all. I was afraid to do the work, to even put it out there. And 24 years ago, and I have received the results and still did self-sabotage because I go, that couldn't have been me. We do that sometimes because our consciousness hasn't embodied that greater, bigger picture that's within each of us. But now I can do that because now I can show you. Because the other thing I discovered after all these years, that Wilhelm was giving us information and wisdom from the quantum realm. Information always exists. We all have it. And if you go back, you'll hear where Wilhelm says, well, we used Einstein, we used Tesla, we used all of these people because they had information. And so if you combine all of that together, then you have something that can give every person the ability to live this great life because they're using all the available known sciences and trusting their intuition at the same time. then you become a master of your life, because everyone's looking for self-mastery. This gives you self-mastery and self-actualization, which is the other part of it. Or if you're a spiritual person and you're looking to ascend and you know that your life matters and you want to experience that and know that you're leaving a legacy, then this does it. It was challenging for me to accept that, but now I must. And so I'm going to have you look at it and see, and maybe today will be the day that you decide that you're going to change your life in the world. Because you do that when you understand your importance and embody who you came to the world to become. It's different for all of us. I couldn't have told you this was going to happen for me, but now I must embody it because I know that it could change our world. It's already done that with the people who have done it. I just want it to be much bigger, as you want your life to be much bigger now. And this is the opportunity for all of us to accomplish that. Wilhelm has given us the one thing that could take any person to achieving success, happiness, and love for themselves. That I do know. And it's guaranteed, because it's no way you could fail. That's all we have is our consciousness, and we have to just make a decision. And today, that is the decision I am making. And I want you to do that as well, because that will make the greatest difference in our world. I'll see you soon.